That would be funny though.
We are live.
We are
He said
live.
do the filter. Oh, he said the hashtags.
Push live on us. And
So you got
I'm not doing all that.
yeah, it's too late. Push live
Jack
on
need to be
Facebook.
here.
How y'all doing? We got a little technical difficulties going on right now.
Hope everybody's doing.
But look
I
what we
can't
got
wait to
here.
see Chris. Pop up. Probably
So,
like,
I know, right? Like,
party.
where are these guys? How's everybody doing? Yeah, somebody's on. Okay. We good back there, production manager? So, what's going on, everybody? So you know what tonight is. It's Tuesday night, 7:45, Real Talk. We got a live discussion going on. Typically, it would be Jack with me. Unfortunately, Jack is still snowed in. He's not able to get out. But I have my son with me, Stephen Matthew Foreman Jr. What's up?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
Oh, great. This is going to be real active. So, we're going to have a discussion tonight. As you all know, this is Real Talk. This is what we do. We have real conversations. He has no idea what we're going to be talking about tonight or the questions I'll be asking him. But we're going to do a little father-son bonding right now while we do this live discussion. As you know, Jack and I, we always like to have these Tuesday night discussions to deal with real issues. We want to talk about real issues that a lot of times we don't feel the church is allowing these real issues to be addressed the way they need to be addressed. Sometimes this Real Talk might expose certain uglinesses about the church that people don't want to dialogue about because they're afraid of hurting people's feelings, or they're just concerned about, people saying the wrong things or whatever it may be. But it's important to have a dialogue. That's the key to being able to get through a lot of things in life, is to be able to simply have a good dialogue with others. I think we would be able to get along with each other a lot better as far as humanity if we were having more dialogue. What's up?
Brian Scott said Polly and Steve.
Brian, what's up?
That's good, Brian.
No, Brian, Big Brian. Waddington. Brian, you remember you used to work with me?
Yeah. That's what.
I didn't know what
What's
you asked.
going on, Brian?
And then Samuel says Polly. Samuel is in.
Yeah. That's Sam. What's going on, Sam?
Oh, okay. So you're Mr. Popular now. Huh?
Yeah.
So
I'm bringing in the viewers. This is what y'all need, and I knew it. I was sitting on the sidelines like they need somebody young that's funny.
a young buck. Okay.
These guys right here.
Old geezers.
Always
Huh?
serious. Always.
Brian says, "What's up, fellas?"
What up, Waddington? What's up, Brian? Hey, stick around, bro. Stick around.
He said, "Yeah, give this segment to Polly."
He is. He's a co-host tonight.
Yeah.
Jack isn't with us, so you know. But as I said, we're about to jump into it. But we're just setting kind of like the stage about why we do what we do. It's important for us to talk about issues that a lot of times people in the church don't want to talk about. Even pastors don't want to talk about it because they're afraid to, hurt. Not so much as hurt people's feelings, but upset people. Listen, sometimes you have to be upset. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to get upset to be able to see something differently, or to be able to realize that maybe, just maybe, how you've been thinking isn't as accurate as you thought. And you get upset because maybe you're frustrated with the fact that, man, I realize now what I've been hearing or what somebody's been teaching me all my life has been wrong. And now I'm getting some new information that's backed up with facts or whatever. And I realize I got to make some decisions in my life. There's nothing wrong with that. I get it though, but dialogue is important. So that's what we're trying to have, is a dialogue. And that's what my son and I are going to do this evening, is we're going to have a dialogue. And like I say, I'm gonna put him out there. He's gonna be like, oh snap, for real, Dad? That's what we're doing right now. So we're gonna be talking about father and son, Paulie, as we call him, Stephen Matthew Foreman Jr. He's my wife and I's first child, our oldest child, our only son. We have two daughters, but we want to talk about really fatherhood and father and son relationships in the church. Okay. So I'm going to kind of like throw some questions at my son. I want to hear and listen. Don't hold back. Don't get scared. Don't be embarrassed.
This is real talk.
This is real talk.
I never do real talk.
Okay. He says this is real talk. So let me ask you something. Being raised in the church, right? What do you think manhood is?
Do you want me to go biblical?
I want you to answer the question.
All right. Being raised in the church, I think manhood is walking in the image of Christ, and I don't. Oh, I guess that's what every human should do. But I guess just being a leader is definitely characteristic of what a man should be. Following God, obviously, and just being a spiritual leader within the household when he eventually builds a household / family.
So you're not in manhood unless you're a leader? I'm gonna like jab your thoughts. I want
Yeah,
to.
that's fine. Yeah. I think that's a very critical part of being a man. Yeah, just having that mentality of both knowing when to lead and then when to follow and just listen. But because a lot of people get, I remember this. I don't know how long ago this was. Maybe like 6 years ago. Maybe.
What is that saying?
Dang, so women can't be leaders.
Right, yo, I'm setting them up. Yo, hey, stay on the couch, player. Stay on the couch, Jack. Stop trying to quarterback from the couch.
What's going on?
Who, Jack?
He's trying to.
He's trying to start.
Hey, stop trying to cook from the couch, player. I got this, okay? Shizers. You want to coach? You want to QB from the couch? That's crazy. But go ahead. You were saying some good stuff.
I was just saying, I remember this message that you told. I don't know how long ago it was.
Oh, now be careful.
But
don't start putting words in my mouth, player.
He said that women should never step foot in the boat. No, I'm just playing. Nah. But you had like sent this message where it was like men shouldn't be lords over their house, but leaders.
Right.
And so I feel like a lot of people get leadership mixed up with lordship or just having control or being like he laughed.
I know.
Just being like in control all the time or like my way or the highway, you know what I'm saying? So like I think leadership comes in like just using your wisdom, which is having a knowledge of a situation, having a knowledge of people around you, how to assess the situation, and then using both knowledge and comprehension, which is how to apply. Wisdom is how you apply all of this, both wisdom and comprehension. But then comprehension is understanding what to do with those facts or like how those facts apply. And then using all of that, you use that wisdom in that situation. So I think that's what being a leader is. So what is those like two different qualities of being a man or manhood? Being strong, like
like kind of like clarify that to be strong. Like, what does that mean?
Being there for those who I guess need somebody to like talk to, possibly. I don't know.
Let me ask you something. So because you, so you said some good things, said some great things, but at the same time, you're almost making it sound like. So my question would be: is mommy a leader?
In her own ways, yeah.
In her own ways.
The household, or dang.
Yay!
I can't wait till it is.
But well, easy.
Real
it's
talk,
funny- it's
real
funny-
talk.
It's funny that you say that. What is she? The
Project
executive producer.
the executive
It's
producer.
funny you say that, executive producer. She's actually pretty. I ain't gonna put words in her mouth, but I've heard and I get the sense that she's okay with having that subservient role to Pops, which is
My God, you're using some words that are going to trigger people to go subservient. My God, like, yo,
like
what?
being,
You're going to have them
being
out there
able to
thinking
support.
that. I get it. Be mindful of the words you're using.
Man, this is real talk. What is happening right now? What is happening? I'm sick and tired of these filters. What is going on?
Listen,
This
I'm
real
cool.
talk.
Listen, I'm real talk. I'm with you,
Oh,
but Jack
man.
from the couch will start complaining. Hey, y'all gotta calm down. I gotta get my.
Ain't he the creator of real talk?
He sometimes he puts too many filters on.
Oh,
Yes, what?
man.
Brian Scott says you about to make Brittany the madman.
Right.
And then Brittany says, what?
Right.
Jack says subservient.
Yo, I told you about this. You about to set
YouTube will play.
Yes.
Yes.
And Samuel says subservient. Elaborate.
Yeah, let's look up this subservient.
First of all,
Yeah,
what you're
save me
saying
here.
is no, you're good. You're saying all the right things because what you're providing is a biblical reference of leadership that supports
Oh, never.
womanhood. Leadership that supports womanhood, meaning a good leader, husband, a man, he is going to not dominate his wife.
Mhm.
He's going to be supporting her. What does Jack say?
Jack said, who's teaching this kid? His daddy.
Oh, is that you're supporting womanhood? Like Jack and I, we talk a couple of times about womanhood and men leadership and so on. And knowledge is neutral, meaning women are brilliant. They're extremely intelligent. Okay, when we talk about a biblical reference of leadership and we talk about manhood, right? An individual, a man, and we're talking about a man, okay, a real genetical man. Let me throw that out there. Is that they are capable of empowering their wife also to lead.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that in society, we're minimizing the role of a man from the biblical context. So we're trying to put it into a cultural context that is now changing because we are a post-Christian culture right now. That the predominant mind thought of Americans is that,
Where were we at Christian?
well, when I say Christian, like where most of the fundamental beliefs in America were biblically based in the sense of, what is a institutional family? What constitutes a marriage? What constitutes male and female? What constitutes, what I'm saying, how to raise children? What constitutes, the relationship between the church and society and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Where nowadays we're so post-Christian in our culture that the ideology of our culture is that women want to usurp men. And that's a problem. That's a biblical problem that has to be worked through. But when we start talking about manhood, we've also talked how when there is the abuse of something, you can't completely throw away the concept that is being abused. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at the concept of manhood and the concept of manhood has been abused, you can't throw away the concept of manhood. We have to reevaluate it. And then those who are actually trying to walk in biblical manhood has to bear the sacrifice and the burden of what people have done that have abused it, right? And carry that into dialogues, into conversations, and deal with the backlash that people have experienced from bad manhood, bad leadership, right? In order for them to have a clearer perspective of what you might be actually describing as manhood. Like when you misused the word subservient, okay, misused it.
Hey, we can't.
Good points, guys. But where are the verses?
Jack, chill out, okay? Chill out. player, we'll get to these things, okay? First of all, again, you can't quarterback from the couch. Chill out. Unshovel your driveway in your car and get
Dang.
But anyways, to get people to understand what you actually mean about manhood.
Mhm.
Because what you'll do is you'll get into conversations where people's minds have been influenced by bad ideology regarding manhood, right? Like before you were mentioning how, you said that you've heard me preach that a man is to lead, not to lord, okay? Unfortunately, a lot of times we watch people lord over their homes. They lord over their wives, they lord over their children, and it just becomes my way or the highway, right? So let me, and what's that?
Brian said, ouch, Jack. He said, be a man.
I wanted to
Yo,
say
Brian
something,
on the
but
sidelines,
that's
yo.
funny.
Brian on the sidelines, yo, Brian.
Huh?
Yeah, I believe so. I think, Brian, you know Jack. I think you've met Jack before. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. But anyways, that's funny that Brian's on the sideline
From Facebook.
interpreting for me. Basically said, man up, Jack.
Catching smoke.
Right. My question to you is another question I want to have you answer regarding manhood. What are some of your fears about getting into manhood or being in a place of manhood? Do you feel like you've arrived?
To work backwards. Yeah. Not really. But that's personal issues that I'm working within myself. But or maybe I have, but I'm not completely where I want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is there's always room to grow, but I don't know. You get into that area where it's I'm not where I want to be, so I don't think that I'm there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but how do you process that though? How do you work through that? Because it's important to understand what makes up manhood, and then you'd have to be able to identify the steps that lead up into that. And therefore, if you're addressing those steps that lead into maturing in our manhood, maybe somebody would say to themselves, yes, I am entering into manhood, but I'm still developing, as I go. You get what I'm saying?
So do you think sorry, I'm asking the question with a question, but this is for clarification.
Yeah, clarification question. I get it.
Do you think recognizing what it takes to be a man is the foundation of manhood?
It's important, or else how would you know what to strive for?
Word.
Right? So you'd have to know what to strive for. So
Right.
what are the content? What is the elements that make up manhood, and then being able to identify those and be cognizant of it, comprehending it, and then you start developing it. Just like you were saying earlier about wisdom, comprehension, facts, and so on. Like having the facts and you comprehend the facts, but you haven't matured into the wisdom of adapting into applying the comprehension of what you have as facts.
Right.
And in those moments, doing that, right? Yeah. So you could be in a relationship, which you are in a relationship, right? Oh my goodness gracious. Now, would you say you're in manhood because you were in a relationship?
No.
You had it before you got into the relationship.
I'm
making a point, so I want you to understand what I'm saying here.
Yeah. To add also to the definition, I think responsibility and a work ethic makes a man as well. Dang, these.
Well, then, but at the same time, then you're saying that so mommy is responsible. No, mommy has a good work ethic.
But there's a heightened sense to or there's this pride in which I feel like men. I don't know.
Women have pride, good pride. Pride is good when you respect yourself.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm failing as a father. Oh my God.
Dang.
I think I'm failing as a father. My son can't even understand what manhood is. He got a grown man as a father in front of him every single day. What's going on here, son? I'm teasing. I'm kidding. what I'm doing is I'm walking you through it because I want you to see this because you in the church, being raised in the church, you know what I'm saying? Having men in the church, being in school at a university, you went to public school, right? I'm saying all that because you've been exposed to a lot of things. What does it say?
Jack says per the conversation.
Per the conversation.
As in, like, this is why we're having a conversation to air all of this out.
Yeah. You've been exposed to, people in school, college, universities. You've, the men that are here, you've interacted with men that are in the church. You've interacted with men outside the church. You've interacted with men at your jobs, your bosses, and so on. So the reason why I'm talking to you as my son and bringing you into this real talk is because it's really important that specifically for you as a young man being raised in a church, a Christian man, to comprehend manhood in a society where manhood is being stripped. And I don't mean stripped in the sense of like somebody can just take it, but the fundamental ideologies existing today are weakening the mindset of what manhood is all about.
Right.
So that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And what I was asking earlier,
Yeah.
what I was asking earlier is that prior to you having a relationship, being in a relationship, you fundamentally already comprehended certain dynamics of manhood. Now being in a relationship, now it's where the wisdom starts to be applied of how to lead in a relationship. Okay. Now, executive producer, don't make any statements while we're talking about, his leadership in relationships.
There was 2 questions before this, though. Before we got into the relationships.
It wasn't so much as in relationships. We're talking about
Before that.
yes, comprehending, like, even though you don't feel like you're being a man, we were saying you have to identify what manhood is to strive for those disciplines of fulfilling manhood or the role of manhood.
Right. But there was 2 questions that you asked.
I don't remember
No.
the questions.
Does anyone-
So just move forward.
Okay.
Because I was asking, do you feel like you're
Right.
fulfilling the role of manhood?
Right.
And you were throwing some other stuff, you're
know.
juggling some stuff in your mind.
Dang, I wish I held on to those 2 questions because they were important.
Well, answer the question that's currently existing. Yes.
I thought. Yes, I do, but I know where I could grow as a man, which is like taking more responsibility with how I take care of others.
Okay.
Somebody saying something? No. And I think that's the crux of it too, just taking care of others, whether that's provided for the family or whether that's provided for the family, like financially, as in, making sure everybody's fed, clothed, everything like that, has a shelter over their head, but also spiritually, I feel.
Spiritually, leading people spiritually.
Yes.
Okay.
Not just outside of yourself, but also within your household.
Okay. So basically, if you and Renija were to take this relationship more serious, I'm sure it's serious now, but take it to the next level, you feel like as fulfilling manhood is that you are to lead the family unit in the spiritual direction.
Yes.
Like in upholding those standards before your wife, before your children, and whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Like, yeah. Being the standard, like you said, yeah, I was going to say something. Yeah.
We got a question? Okay. Okay, so son, whoo, man, I see. I think I've got to, go back to the drawing board of helping my son be a man. I mean, my goodness.
I want to hear what you say because I feel like, I don't know.
You want to hear what I said?
What you say
Oh,
is what manhood is, because I feel like I said them, but like it could also be applied to women. Like
what I was doing.
Virtually anything can be applied to both genders. It's just
So a
there's
woman
more-
could be a man?
no. I'm saying like women can also take pride in their work. Women can also lead. Women could do essentially what anything a man could do, but there's more of a duty, and like you said, it's heightened with a man when it comes to like being a leader and everything like that. Not to say that women can't do that, but it's like I feel like you're going to go into.
Yep.
This is how we were built. This is how.
So it sounds like you're struggling with the concept of manhood in regarding to the virtues you apply to it, because it sounds like you're saying that the virtues we apply to manhood could apply to women as well.
No, I'm saying.
I'm
I'm
leading to something.
Okay.
I'm just leading.
It sounds like that's what you were trying to posit.
No, I'm not. I'm
Different questions.
simply addressing the fact that sometimes in today's society, this is why we're having the conversation. In today's society, what did Jack say? What did he say?
Oh, a eunuch. Oh, that's still funny. But
What did he say?
I thought it
Can
said
a
a
eunuch
munch.
be man? Can a eunuch be a man?
I thought it said, can a munch be a man?
All
Can a
right.
eunuch? Yeah. Just because they lost their
Okay, we're about to get into a whole other realm because
they're technically, yes, a man.
they are
of
a man
their-
because they
their
were born.
chromosomes
Yes,
and
yes, they were born
like that.
Yes, they
but-
were born that way. Just because they
Here, he about to try.
right. But this is what I was getting at. I wasn't trying to trick you into.
Yeah.
Because the thought process.
It's ironing it out.
There's certain virtues that you apply to manhood that a woman that's listening could say, "Well, I could do that also." You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this is what I want to say to this piece here when it comes, because it's very challenging nowadays. What happened?
He said, "Not a male, a man," regarding manhood.
That's
Or
what Jack
eunuch.
said.
Well, so
Yes.
yeah, I was gonna get a little like medical. Like, sure, you can't.
No, what he was saying is even if you remove, like you said,
Yes,
the genitals,
but- right.
he could still lead as a man.
Yes, I was going to get to that. Like, sure, he can't produce his own family, but now he could always like adopt and still play that leadership roles, or even be a leader in his own community amongst like men that he may be leading in the church or whoever.
Well, first of all, Jack, you're using a word that wouldn't apply to this role anyways, because a eunuch is something that was used in olden days where
We still
they
got him walking around.
stop. They castrated them so they would not impregnate anybody in the king's courthouse or whatever, in the king's court. So that person isn't even given the opportunity to operate in a state of manhood in the sense of what we're talking about. He can't. He's got to be servant to the king for the king's needs. So, but anyways, not to get sidetracked because that's a red herring, not a red herring, but that's a going down the rabbit hole we don't want to go down right now. What I'm applying is this: anytime we go by the word of God, so our standard is the scriptures, right? And when we start taking the scriptures, we understand that that's the order of God. Anytime we remove ourselves from the scriptures and try to apply ourselves, that becomes disorder. Whenever you have disorder, okay, you're going to have confusion. And a lot of times when we start talking about these issues, that we try to stay on the biblical terms, but it becomes confusing because people are influenced by cultural norms of the day. And those cultural norms of the day, if they are separated from the standard, which is the word of God, then we're going to have this kind of problem where you were addressing virtues to manhood, but women will say, well, I can do the same thing. And we're not saying that women can't do something when we talk about manhood. That's one of the major problems about having a dialogue about manhood. When somebody wants to talk about manhood, we're not saying what women cannot do. We're stating what God has commanded men to do. We're talking about how God instituted manhood and applied that through Adam and the male seed. So therefore, he has a role to play. That would be within his manhood. But when we start having these dialogues and people, because they may be separating themselves from the standard, which is the Bible, which is the true order of God, and we start doing our own thing and thinking our own ways, this is when we have disorder, and disorder brings confusion. And then when we try to have dialogue, that's where all of these nuances start to appear. You know what I'm saying? This is where all the nuances of people question, well, what are you saying? You're saying I can't do this? I can. No, that's not what we're saying at all. I've said this plenty of times. Women are extremely intelligent. They are extremely strong. They are extremely powerful. That does not mean they can be a man. Are y'all with me? Let me say that again. Do I need to repeat that?
No, you don't.
You sure? And by no means do I ever want to try and be a woman. No matter how gifted they are, no how powerful they are, I'm not looking to be a woman. Because that would be disorder. Why did everybody get quiet?
I was just thinking of jokes to say.
Oh, really? That's what we're doing now? We're transitioning. Anyways, um,
Lean in.
because of the camera. Listen to
The queen, my queen.
okay, chill out. So that's the things I wanted us to talk about. So now let me ask you a quick now. So let's transition. Let's get onto another topic, okay, regarding manhood. So what do you feel is the most important example a young man has to understand manhood?
I think I remember the question that you asked earlier, but I'm sorry. What is the most important quality, or who is the most important person?
Example, the most
Example. Their father.
Good answer. That's very important to you think?
It's very important for a young man's development. But I was gonna say, like,
And you said a what? You said is what?
Young man's development.
It
As
was
a father.
Is a father. I'm gonna go somewhere with this in a minute, but go ahead.
Definitely. But if they don't happen to have that father figure, I think going to the Word of God.
Hold on a second.
That came up.
Keep your thoughts. Keep your thoughts. Jack, stop trying to quarterback from the couch. Okay? You're not here. Just listen. Okay? Thank you.
Or maybe you should play in like the audiences too. I don't know. Where is Chris at, man?
Yo, Chris,
Chris,
if
you
you're
see
out there,
Brittany's comment.
what did Brittany say?
What?
Oh yeah, earlier. Come on.
I'm sorry. The Word of God and like Jesus. Jesus definitely, because that's what the father should be modeling his life after. You know,
Meaning
what I'm
the kid's father
yes,
should be
yes,
emulating
yeah,
the Lord.
yes.
Okay.
You should be
Emulating.
Dang.
What happened?
Don't.
She's about to.
Bruce Burton still so Mr. Burton. He said, "Hello, my brothers."
What's going on, Mr. Burton?
What's up, Mr. Byrne?
Salutations.
I don't know if you recognize the voice behind the camera, but that's Renaja. I don't know if you remember.
Ronald, granddaughter.
Oh, he knows your grandfather? Go ahead. The Word of God.
Yes. Yeah. Just
The Lord.
emulating Christ.
Mhm.
Emulating Christ.
Mhm.
The Lord. Yes.
Okay. So I'm about to chart out into some deep waters right now, but I want you to be very honest. You said it was a father that is the greatest example for a young man to emulate into manhood.
Mhm.
Do you think mommy could help you to become a man and lead you into manhood? Be honest.
It's not going to be the same. Just like how a father can't really lead a daughter into motherhood, or at least they can give all the knowledge in the world.
Give
but
the
you
olive
can't-
branch. Give the olive branch.
Uh-huh.
Extend the olive branch. But what's the reality?
It's not the same. It's not the same. Because it's very. You
Go ahead.
good?
She's giving us a.
Bruce Burton says, "Only so far."
Yep, exactly, and that's the olive
Yes,
branch.
yes.
We're excited. So go ahead and finish like the olive branch, but
It's completely different. My dynamic with my mom is totally different with my pops. Like you get
because she babies them.
oh Talking about me. Yeah.
She babies him. He ain't getting that this way.
Her hitter is right behind the camera, so he is in the doghouse after this. I guess we both are. But anywho, it's completely different. Like, even how we talk to one another, like, I can't talk to mommy that way. It's not as it's just weird outside of that, and just the lessons and everything. There's a sense of like, I can't strive to be like my mom,
Right.
as a man. Like that's, it's like,
It's not normal. It's not like
yes.
that's not what God designed.
Yeah, I could strive to.
But let me ask you something. What value does your mother have in your life, though?
Oh my gosh, she is awesome.
Mhm.
Probably would die of hunger if my mom wasn't around. Just and emotional. So you may not.
Just
like
speak.
this one.
This is.
But I do
real
go
talk.
to my mother for like emotional like support. Sorry, yeah.
Man, he's saying I can't go to my pops because my pops would be like, "Yo, grow up, boy. Come on now, be a man."
But I know that like it's different. Like if
I don't do that, y'all. I'm firm, but I'm not that firm.
Yeah, no, it's not like.
But his mother does.
But I go to both of them for different aspects of my life. I go to my mom for the more emotional, like how do I work through this like situation I got going on with another individual. Whereas with my pops, it's like, okay, how do I go forward as a man with this kind of like situation? Like, how do I, like in the future, lead people, my wife, future wife, or my kids? Like, how do I go about creating this moment to be a lesson for not just myself and the rest of my life, but also the people who are in my life as well later on in life. So yeah, it's two different experiences. It's like, yeah.
So let me ask you. So, a little on the fun side. Let's just talk for a second.
Mhm.
What do you look forward to when it comes to your time to lead in manhood?
What do I look forward to?
Yeah.
Just playing that role, being that role to my son. Like, dang, dad's cool, like I want to be just like my dad, or just.
Is that what you say about me, son?
I want to be just like my dad. No, but I think
Manny wants his son to say that, but you don't say that about. That's crazy.
I'm not gonna
That's
get that
crazy.
to the audience. But no, I think also stories. I always look forward to hearing your stories. And like, I don't know, even when you retell a story like 6 times.
I don't tell my story 6 times.
Even when you tell the stories that I've heard 6 times, I always get excited. Just like, it's just cool. Just like hearing that back and like, dang, this is what my pops was, and this is who he is now. Like,
Fix it.
because it adds like a human element. Like, it's weird probably to hear that. Like,
No, I get it.
like to, but yeah, to be like, just adding that human element and just like, dang, my pops was a person before I was born. It may sound weird to like hear or anything like that, but that's how I was like, this is the pinnacle of manhood in my life. So I was just like, need to be like that, need to aspire to be like that. But then just hearing the stories of like, this is who I was, like, like all the craziness that he went through in his life. But just hearing that and like, okay, wow, he really developed as a young man to be my father, So I look forward to that definitely in my household in the future. There's this like running joke that like because I don't live as an eventful life as my pops did when he was my age. I have to like go out there and be like, instead of Ubering which I have access to. I'm a walk home and stuff like that. You know,
Oh
like,
my gosh. This dude wants to make stories for his children. Like he wants to just put himself in just situations where he could say when his kids are born, I used to do this, because he always hears my stories of how I was as a young.
because best believe when they hear about my graduation, I'm gonna tell them that we was fighting zombies and all types
Zombie
of
apocalypse.
creatures. Because I graduated 2020.
Yeah.
But
That was crazy, your graduation.
weird. But
In a car. We had to sit in a car and watch you go across stage. That was crazy.
it was insane. But that's what I look forward to when I'm at Pops. Just telling the stories.
All right. I respect it. So listen, y'all.
Is it?
Huh?
We
Yeah, it's been about 45 minutes. Just
gotta hit them with some type of verse, something.
We're good.
Oh,
Jack,
shoot. Dang.
What did Brittany say?
Steve, what do you look forward to or desire for your legacy
For man.
for manhood?
Ooh, Parker comes through with the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
What do you look forward to or
Yeah.
desire for your
Yep.
legacy?
Yep. I want my legacy to be where I empowered individual men. I'm going to talk about men. To help them cultivate the mindset of knowing how to exist in their manhood and yet become comfortable when they feel weak, and yet understand that their manhood is not defined by their moments of weakness, but how they get through those moments of weakness. And at the same time, simultaneously sustaining other parts of their life and keeping those parts going forward while they are in that moment of weakness, not allowing that moment of weakness to define them. And for them to take courage in that moment, for them to be able to understand that. And then for them to be able to articulate that, like when I'm talking to my son, and for my son to be able to articulate that to his son, and his son be able to articulate that to his son, and then be able to have other men doing the same thing. My joy isn't going to be what I accumulate with. My joy is going to be what I am depositing in other people's thought process for them to recognize that. I think one of the greatest aspects of manhood is being able to never let their moments of weakness define them, and find courage in those moments of weakness to still continue to get up every day, take care of their family, get up every day, go to work, get up every day and take care of their responsibilities, get up every day and still be able to encourage their family and others that they lead, and still be able to empower them while alone they are managing their own sadness, loneliness, weakness, and not allowing that to define them. But while going through that, still having the courage to face all their other responsibilities and to have that consistently taking place in their life day in and day out. And for other men to be able to say that and understand that, comprehend that, fulfill that, and pass that on to other, to their children and children's children and so on. That's what I want my legacy to be. True leadership. You know what I'm saying? That's true leadership. And so, you know, my manhood isn't about my prosperity. My manhood isn't about my career. My manhood isn't wrapped up in, how famous I get. I mean, it's whatever. Me, daily, I internalize where I am in life. I internalize what I'm doing with my life as it's lined up with the Word of God, and I consistently apply myself in pursuing what God has ordained me to do. And yet, while nobody else knows what's going on internally, while I'm faced with my own quote unquote demons or weaknesses or whatever, never let those things define me, but I still get up every day and champion the cause of being a leader.
Championing the cross.
I hope I answered. I hope I gave you a good answer, Brittany.
That was a really good question, Brittany.
It was a good question. Very good question.
Any questions from Facebook or Instagram?
No? Awesome. Well, listen. So I appreciate all of you that watched. Listen, I'm about to fumble, Jack.
So what is a man?
What? No, that's not for this right now. We're not about to go through that. But listen, y'all. So I'm gonna try to exit out properly. So what I want you to do is I want you to push the like button. I want you to click the notification bell. I want you to subscribe to Real Talk. I want you to tell other friends about what we do on Tuesdays at 7:45. Also, every Monday we drop a Real Talk episode that's been pre-recorded, but it has great dialogue in it and good discussions. And we would love for you to follow that as well. Tell other people about us. Look at Jack. What did he say? What did he say?
He said, "Help him, please." I ain't gonna hold you, big dog.
So, anyways, y'all know what to do. And then Jack, show up next Tuesday so you get this exiting proper. All right, and be ready for next
Tell
Tuesday.
your friends about
Oh,
your
yeah.
friends.
Tell your homework.
So-
No, the homework. The homework is to tell one friend about Real Talk.
so we can be friends.
and have them subscribe. Keep watching. But first of all, we just want to always thank all of our viewers, those that consistently follow us, watch us every Tuesday, waiting for our Monday episodes to drop. We really appreciate what you guys do. So please continue to join us every Tuesday at 7:45. So listen,
Thank you.
have a great Thanksgiving holiday. Be safe, enjoy family, and always keep in mind, let's be thankful for the things that God has blessed us with. God bless y'all.
Subscribe to Righteous Unity. Yeah, unite.
Subscribe to Righteous Unity. Right.
You had this. This is the most people you had on here in decades.